You're sitting on your couch in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon, and on the surface, everything is perfectly still. There is no predator in the room. There is no smoke in the air. You aren't even moving your body. You are simply holding a small, glowing rectangle of glass and metal, staring at a screen that tells you your rent is going up, or that a war is starting halfway across the globe, or perhaps just that someone you haven't spoken to in a decade is doing better than you. You feel a sudden, sharp constriction in your chest. Your breathing shallows. Your heart rate begins to climb. To any other human in the room, you look completely normal, just another person checking their notifications. But then, you feel it. A cold nose nudges your hand. A heavy chin rests on your knee. A pair of wide, soulful eyes looks up at you with an intensity that feels like an interrogation. Your dog knows. Before you've even acknowledged to yourself that you're spiraling, they've already sensed the glitch in your reality. They are reacting to a red flag that you didn't even know you were waving. This isn't just a cute pet story or a quirk of biology. What you are witnessing in that moment is the activation of a 30,000-year-old survival contract, a brutal and ancient piece of interspecies technology that was forged in the fires of the Ice Age. To understand why your dog knows you're stressed before you do, we have to look past the wagging tails and the belly rubs and peer into the dark, competitive history of the hearth. We have to ask ourselves, what did our ancestors find in the eyes of a wolf so valuable they were willing to share their precious, dwindling calories with it? The answer is interspecies empathy, a biological Wi-Fi signal that we are currently breaking with our modern digital lives. We are living in a world of high-tech notifications, but we are still operating on low-tech biological hardware. And our pets are the only ones left who still know how to read the original code. Imagine for a moment the sheer brutality of the world 30,000 years ago. Loneliness wasn't a feeling you had on a Saturday night. It was a death sentence. To be alone was to be vulnerable to every shadow in the forest. In this environment, humans and wolves were rivals, two apex predators hunting the same megafauna. But a glitch occurred in the standard predator-prey relationship. A few wolves realized that humans were excellent at long-range planning and tool use, and humans realized that wolves had sensory capabilities that made ours look like we were in a deprivation tank. This wasn't a friendship, it was a tactical merger. We didn't choose the cutest wolves. We chose the ones who could read our intentions. We chose the ones who could look at a human's face and understand, without a single sound, that the hunt was on, or that a predator was lurking just beyond the firelight. But here is the part that scientists are only just beginning to uncover. This connection wasn't just built on sight or sound. It was built on scent. When you get stressed, even if you are sitting perfectly still on a Zoom call, your body undergoes a brutal chemical shift. Your endocrine system floods your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. To a human, this is an internal feeling, but to a dog, you have just let off a chemical flare. Their noses possess up to 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our measly 6 million. They aren't just guessing you're stressed. They are literally smelling the fear as it exits your pores. Research has shown that dogs can detect the scent of human stress with an accuracy rate of over 90%. They can smell the red flags of your anxiety before your own conscious mind has even finished processing the email that caused it. This brings us to a feeling you can't name. That strange sense of guilt we feel when we ignore our pets to look at our phones. There is a biological reason for this. For thousands of years, the human-dog relationship was based on the gaze. When humans and dogs look into each other's eyes, both species experience a massive surge in oxytocin. the love hormone that facilitates bonding between mothers and infants. It is a biological feedback loop that kept our ancestors sane during the long, brutal winters of the prehistoric world. But now, that loop is being interrupted. We are staring at screens instead of eyes. We are giving our oxytocin-rich gaze to a piece of plastic, leaving our pets in a state of digital exile. They see us glitching, reacting to invisible threats on our screens, and they try to pull us back into the ancient contract. Think about the mistakes we make every day that look like amateur hour to our pets. We walk into rooms and forget why we're there. We stare at walls for hours. We become agitated by things that aren't physically present. To a dog, a human on a smartphone is a creature that is dangerously checked out of reality. They see the physiological signs of a hunt, the dilated pupils, the rapid heartbeat, but they don't see the prey. They see the red flags of a predator's approach, the tensed muscles, the shallow breath, but they don't see the threat. This creates a state of confusion for the animal. They know something is wrong, and because their survival has been tied to ours for 30 millennia, they feel a biological compulsion to fix it. Have you ever wondered if animals recognize a bad person or if they have a sense of fairness? The answer lies in their ability to read the micro glitches in human behavior. Dogs are masters of social eavesdropping. They don't just watch how you treat them, they watch how you treat others. In a series of brutal psychological experiments, dogs were shown humans who refused to help their owners open a container. When those unhelpful humans later offered the dogs a treat, the dogs overwhelmingly rejected it. They recognized the social red flag. They saw a human who wasn't playing by the rules of the tribe. In our modern world, we think we're being subtle when we're being passive-aggressive or dishonest. But to a dog, our body language is screaming the truth. We are like amateur actors trying to lie to a world-class director. They see every false note. This leads us to the brutal reality of how we've changed. We used to be a species that lived in the now, because the now was the only place where survival happened. If you weren't present, you were eaten. But technology has allowed us to live in a state of perpetual elsewhere. We are physically in our living rooms, but mentally, we are in a comment section, or a news cycle, or a work crisis. Our pets, however, are still in the living room. They are the last tethers we have to the physical world. When your dog forces their way between you and your laptop, they aren't just being needy. They are performing a tactical intervention. They're trying to snap you out of a reality glitch and bring you back to the world that matters for your survival. But what happens when we ignore those interventions? This is where the dark side of the human-pet bond comes in. In the end, try to see the world through the eyes of the creature that chose to walk beside you when the world was nothing but shadows and fire.